Well, good afternoon, Alexis. Well, I can't call you that, Alex. Thank you for coming on Sports Talk with C. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on here.
Of course. So tell us who you are and where you're from.
So my name is Alexis Castro, and I'm from San Diego, California. Right now, I'm actually in Springfield, Mass, at Springfield College. Yeah.
So what was the basketball culture and growing up for you in San Diego?
So I actually started playing when I was 5 years old. I actually played
Ooh.
for a rec league, yeah, and back then there wasn't many girls playing. So we actually got to play with boys up until I want to say like high school. I started playing with boys, but just kind of played rec leagues, and then um, I actually started playing travel ball, AAU ball, I guess now they call it. Probably when I was about 12 years old, and I actually got recruited to play for a team in Los Angeles. They were
Ooh.
called NJB Stars, yeah, and just kind of started with them. Then I actually started playing with, which we actually went to nationals. We won nationals, 1200 nationals at
Ooh.
at Walt Disney World. It was actually pretty cool. We were actually featured in some type of documentary. They were following a team, an AAU team, and we actually beat them. So it was very upsetting for them. But yeah, we were the team that beat them. It
So
was
you
pretty
experienced
awesome.
an upset at a young age, huh?
I did. I did. It was pretty cool though, seeing us like just, just the footage of us like beating them and like they were crying. I felt so bad now, but back then, of course, I wasn't feeling bad. I was like, yeah, we beat them.
Of
um,
course.
but yeah, and then just started playing, just kept on playing travel ball. Went back to San Diego. I actually played on a travel ball team with high school boys. So I was probably like ninth, 10th grade, and I was playing with the guys up until then. But then, boys are boys started touching, touching us a little bit. So I was like, yeah, that's done.
I'm out of here. Gotta
Yeah,
go.
like I'm good. I'm good with that. But yeah, and then I got actually recruited again to play for another LA team, which was actually the top Nike team in the country at that time. It was called Swish.
Okay, I see
Um,
you.
yeah, so it was really really good. I played with some top players too. I know a girl, Shay. She actually played in the WNBA for a couple of years. Played at UCLA. Um, so yeah, it was good. I loved it. I loved playing. Obviously, in LA it was more competitive than it was San Diego. Even to this day, I think it's the same as well. But yeah, that's just kind of how it was back for me when I was young. When I was young,
So you said you picked up, you started playing at 5. What introduced you to basketball, the reason you started to play?
actually, some kids get forced into it. I wasn't. I actually came home. My school actually sent like papers back then, and it had like this picture of a basketball, and I
Hmm.
was like, mom, I want to play this sport. And she was like, what are you talking about? And she signed me up, and that's how I got introduced. I also played basketball, and so I played basketball, and I also played soccer and softball. Those are my three sports growing up. Played travel ball in all three of them as well. Um, but yeah, it was just kind of my thing. Like I just saw something on the paper and I was like, yeah, I want to do it. It's just kind of how it started.
No, that is what's up. That's dope because like you are right. A lot of people are either forced into it, it's around their family. So for the fact that you've seen it on a flyer, that is dope. But you said you played with guys up into the ninth, 10th grade.
Yes.
How did that help you playing with your travel team?
Yeah. Um, just that competitive edge.
Mm.
Just going hard every time. People always told me growing up that I played like a guy, and I think it's honestly because I played with guys. I always wanted to do everything they did. I wanted to be right there with them. So, I fought back. Nobody ever took it easy on me, which honestly I loved and I appreciated at the end. Like just because I'm a girl, don't take it easy on me. So in fact, it just made me hungrier and play harder, honestly, because I wanted to be one of the guys. I wanted, to be appreciated. I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, she's a girl. No. Like, like I always grew up getting along with guys better than obviously the women, but it was just natural to me. And it helped me obviously to get where I am, obviously in my career. I think it helped me throughout the entire way. I mean, I played professionally for 13 years, so I
Ooh,
think it helped me, in the long run.
that's what's up. 13 years is a long time to play, especially when you're playing overseas, because that's a different beast than playing
Yes.
in the States. But just to get back to, being a kid playing basketball, what would you say was your favorite moment from travel ball in high school?
Oh, my favorite moment from travel ball to high school. Honestly, I think I love being a part of the team and
Mm.
the trips that we went on, the road trips that I took. I remember my dad, he actually bought this old school van. And I'm outdating myself a little bit right now, but this very old school van. And he actually, like, it was for our road trips. And it was very comfortable. He put like a little TV in there. Like, it was so cute. And he actually got like the where the wheel is supposed to be, like the spare wheel. He actually had something made for me, and it was like spray paint, it had my name on it, had basketball and everything.
Oh, that's so
And
cute.
yeah, and I remember when we're at the tournaments that they were just like, I had all my teammates in there. We were just like watching TV. We were just like, that was a spot to be like during our little breaks. Um, but like the relationships that I just made with, with all these teammates that I've had throughout, um, I would say like those are probably the most memorable times of just like, besides like obviously you win stuff, right? You win championships, you win tournaments. But I think it's more for me is like the relationships that I made and like the cool things that we did and like the fun things. Like we got to stay up late back in the day, like
That's always a plus.
sleepovers, and you get to eat whatever you want. You get to go in the pool. I think it's like those times that I honestly really cherish the most.
Okay. Did you have a basketball dream as a kid?
Play professionally overseas, honestly. That was my
Okay.
goal.
And
That
why
was my
overseas?
goal. Honestly, because I knew I wasn't that good to play WNBA. Like everybody's like, why play overseas? Why not say, my dream is to play the WNBA? I think I was being realistic. Not only that, like I love to travel. My mom, took me places when I was young. I remember we made a trip to Italy, and I loved Europe. So I was like, I love to travel. I want to see the world, and what better place to do it while I'm playing the sport that I love, and it's getting paid for. I don't have to pay for anything. Um, I've always liked Europe, so I think in that aspect, I mean, I feel like in a way I was like being realistic with myself. Like I'm not as good as Diana Taurasi, even though I did play against her. I played
Oh,
against her when I was actually an eighth grader playing with high school with the high school team. She actually,
wow.
yeah, so she blocked me like really bad one time. But I was like, whatever, I don't care. It's Diana Taurasi.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was more of that for me of like I want to play overseas. I have no aspirations to play a WNBA. But that's honestly it's always been a goal of mine since a very young age, and I got to accomplish that.
That's what's up. So before we get into the journey to you playing into overseas, I just want to know because, the spotlight is huge now in this
Yes.
day and age. But you played and growed up in LA, not, played in LA and stuff. Is there really a difference because, that's a basketball market than now? Or is it
Mhm.
pretty much the same?
Oh no, I think AU has changed so much. Um, the game has changed so much. It's just like I said, I'm not dating myself. It's been what I mean. I graduated from high school in '04, so it's just changed so much in the sense that I feel like now AAU basketball is. I mean, now I'm a coach, so it's just I have a different view of it now as a
Oh, we'll get
player.
there.
So it's definitely different. I feel like it's a lot harder now. Teams, AU, they cost a lot now. So I feel like that's just different. I think it makes it a little bit harder too for certain socioeconomic groups as well,
Hmm.
honestly. Um, You know, it's just it's different. It really is. It's evolved. I think in a good way, obviously for women's sports.
Of course.
Um, yeah, but it's completely different now from, like I said, I'm not dating myself.
I feel you. It is different. So a lot of people have a tough time when picking a school, recruiting, what's going to suit them, what's going to be best for them. What was your takeaway from your process? Did you ever want to go to a powerhouse school? Um, just walk me through that.
So I was fortunate enough to start receiving college letters when I was in eighth grade because, like I said, I got to play with a travel team that was high school players. Um, so I was fortunate enough to get those. But my first, I remember getting letters from UConn, from North
Wow.
Carolina, USC, Stanford. And first off, I'm not very good academically, so I'm not a really good, I don't really like school that much, but I was like, I want to play ball at the next level. Like, it's always like, I always wanted to play D1. So I knew at the end, like, I don't know if I really wanted something close to San Diego. Um, Honestly, location wasn't a big thing. For me, I know my last two choices, it came down to actually the University of Vermont, or Long Beach State, which is complete opposite of the country. Um, so those were like my two things. And honestly, as a kid, now looking back at it now, as when you're a kid, when you're 18 years old, all you care about is basketball. All you cared about is the sport you play. You don't really care too much about academics. So for me, you know, I was all about where am I going to play as a freshman? Like that was just my question I always had for coaches. Like, where do you see me in your program? Do you see me playing as a freshman? Am I sitting the bench? Like, you know, and me, I wanted to play.
Mm.
Um, so that really, you know, honestly, one school said you're going to play, and the other school said you're not going to play, and that was my decision. I didn't care about the academics at all. I'm going to be completely honest. I just wanted to play ball. Like that was just my mindset. But as far as like really picking out a school, you know, you really think about if you join this, for instance, if I thought, let's say UConn, I probably wasn't going to play. I was probably going to sit the bench. I wasn't going to be an impact player. And so that I feel like that really helped with my decision as far as like narrowing it down to like my top five schools to my top three. Um, like I didn't want to ride the bench, honestly. I'm going to be completely honest. Like I didn't want to ride the bench. I wanted to play. If that meant I needed to go to a lower division 1 school, I was okay with that.
Okay.
But you know, some people are okay with riding the bench, and for me, I'm not.
I
I'm
wouldn't be
not.
either.
So yeah, so that's why honestly, like I picked UVM at
Hmm.
the end. Uh, and I played, and I think, I mean, I loved my time at UVM, so it was good.
What was one of the best moments at UVM?
Oh, one of my best moments. Probably so during that time, UMaine was actually one of our rivals.
Mm.
And I remember playing them, and I think I had like a game high of like maybe 31 points, I think it was. And I was just like, I was in the zone. I couldn't miss.
I
But
know
like they
that's
were,
right.
yeah, I could not miss. Like they were double teaming me. Like I was doing my fadeaway. Like
Ooh,
I
talk to
just,
them.
yeah. So I was just like, I was in the zone. It was just like if it was at home, people like the gym was pretty full. We always got a good crowd at UVM. But yeah, like it was just like I'd probably say that moment, just like beating them because they were our number one rival. It was always back and forth. Especially there was one girl. It was actually me and her always going at it. It was their best post player, and we would just go at it, and it was just like we knew we weren't going to back down to each other. So I think it was that for me, that best moment.
Ooh, look at you getting feisty over there. You know what I'm saying? Getting in your bag. I know that's right.
Yeah.
Um, when you decided, well, you know, as a kid, you wanted to play overseas, um, got your first contract overseas. What was your little girl telling you in that moment?
Don't mess up. Don't mess up. No, honestly, it was actually a culture shock because my first
Mm.
contract was actually in Finland.
Ooh.
And I have never, I'm going to be completely honest, I'm not good at geography, but I have never heard of Finland at that moment. But I found it in a map and I was like, wow, I am going to be freezing. Coming from California, I mean, Vermont, it's still cold, but Finland, I was like, what is there going to be in Finland? Like, I don't know Finnish. I hope they speak English, like those kind of things. But I was like, I was scared, but I was like, when I got there and thinking about it, I'm like, I made it. Like, this is my dream. This was my goal. I made it. Enjoy it. Um, do the best that you can, and that's all you can do. I mean, but I honestly felt like a satisfaction. Like, I fulfilled my dream. This is what
Mm.
this is what this is what all the hard work and sacrifice was for, and I'm here. So just do your thing. You obviously got here for a reason, So that's why I just honestly told myself. And I mean, let me tell you, it was definitely a culture shock because I actually was in Finland. It was called a little town in Forsa. It was actually called, and there was nothing to do there. Like it was literally in the sticks. It was
Wow.
countryside. Oh yeah. And when I say like there's nothing to do, literally, and I don't know what viewers you see, but there was only one bar, and everybody went there, and everybody knew each other. It was like, oh, it was crazy. But and then also too, like I don't know if you guys know, but in Finland during the winter, there's only 4 hours of sunlight, and it's usually from like 8 in the morning to probably 12 in the afternoon.
What?
Yes, the rest of the day is dark.
Wow.
So it's really, and then it's the opposite for like summer. Like there's all sunlight and hardly any dark. There's like I don't think there's any darkness. But being in that atmosphere, not knowing how to just even acclimate to that, I mean, it's very hard, especially when you play overseas. Uh, people from the United States, the Americans, it's kind of hard for some people because the time difference and speaking with their loved ones and family members, you're up very, very late to speak with them just to get that interaction and catching up with them. So, I remember my roommates at the time, um, they were staying up very, very late and but just would sleep throughout the day because they would be staying up so late to talk with their loved ones and family members. So, it's really hard for some people. It really is. Some people enjoy playing overseas, some people don't. It's very, very hard. But I remember, man, Finland. One thing that I absolutely love about Finland is everybody's into the sauna. You go into the sauna and people go in naked. Now, I have never experienced this before. Sauna, I'm thinking of like here in the United States.
Face towel, you still your clothes is
Yes,
on.
yes. No, everybody's going in naked and they're taking their alcohol with them.
Oh wow, so they're getting drunk in the sauna.
Yes. And then like Europeans are very like the family thing. It's normal to see everybody naked over there. It's very, very open-minded over there in Europe. So I have men coming in with us. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, is this normal? Because this is not normal for me. So I'm
Right.
just like looking up and everything. I'm like, okay, don't even eye contact, no. So, and then everybody's like, this is normal. This is very,
No.
very normal in our culture. And I'm like, this is, you don't really know about people's culture until you're actually in it, honestly. And it's opened my eyes completely to all the different countries I've been to. But after we are in the sauna for a while, we go out in the snow and we roll around. We roll around, come back in, and then you hit yourself with like a branch. And it's actually really helps for circulation. It's actually very nice. It felt very nice.
Wow.
But you never you
You
never
never
never would
know.
have known until you're actually in it. But that was like I was like shocked, but I actually really enjoyed playing in Finland. And I played for the first division. It was awesome. We actually didn't I think we finished maybe third
Okay.
in the league. So it was nice.
That's what's up. Well, I
Yeah.
I appreciate you for being honest about, it being a culture shock and also just making the best of it. Because like you said, a lot of people can't, and it's hard. I
Mhm.
knew like I like to be alone, but I also need that interaction from my family whenever I can, whenever
Yeah.
I want to. Like, let me pick up the phone, call my mom, or let me pick up the phone and see what this person's doing. So for you to ride the wave and enjoy the moment is that's what's up. So what has been your best country you visited?
I can't say one specifically,
Okay.
but it's between Spain and France. I say France because I was there probably the longest. I was there for 3 years.
Okay.
And I made I've met some amazing people in France. One of my favorite teams was actually in France. The first time, my first season there. Great group of young ladies. Actually, we're now women now. But they took me in as one of them. They're a very close knit group. Um, I even still talk to them to this day.
That's what's
I have
up.
really, yeah, I actually, one of my best friends is actually one of the girls from the team. But France, I was actually very lucky. I was actually in the southern part of France. So I was in the French Riviera. Um,
Ooh, that's
yes,
nice.
yeah, I was probably like 15 minutes away driving from like Monaco. So it was very, very nice. Um, I actually went to the Cannes Festival, the film festival, gorgeous. Um, but I was very fortunate to be in the French Riviera for those 3 years. Um, the food, oh, absolutely. I'm a foodie, so I loved France and obviously the same in Spain too. Um, but I would probably say definitely France was probably my top, and then obviously Spain because I'm Hispanic. The
Hmm.
language definitely helped. Um, Actually, my Mexican national team, my coach for the Mexican national team is actually from Spain. So he definitely helped me out a lot. I was playing for a lower division actually at one point, and then they wanted somebody to bring them up to the higher division, and that was my job. Did it, and I ended up staying with them for 2 seasons. Um, Great people. I loved it. Just going from the different levels, um, and just doing what I'm asked. I feel like that's like the biggest thing for me is like you ask something of me, and I get to accomplish that. So
Hmm.
it was obviously it was a good thing for me. I think.
That's what's up. I like that. Now when I was you doing my research and everything, I seen that you want to be an inspiring director of basketball operations. But before we get
Yes.
into that, what got you into coaching?
Oh, coaching. Well, so actually playing overseas, I actually was coaching the clubs, the young ones in the club teams that I was playing for. I really enjoyed it. It was, the European style is very different than American style. So I really enjoyed that. But when I was given the opportunity, I was like, okay, I like this. Then I actually volunteered in a community college back at home for about a season. And I really liked that. I was like, okay, like
Hmm.
I got to work with the post players and I was like, I like this. I like this. And I just saw the development of players and I liked just even the relationship that I got with them, like that I got to have with them. It was like, I feel like I'm really connecting with people and I'm really helping them grow, not only on the court, but off the court too. Um, so I think that for me got me into coaching. Then I started coaching high school. High school girls actually wasn't for me. I coached it for a couple of seasons. I'm like, yeah, no, it's definitely not for me. But I actually got the opportunity to coach the boys
Mm.
varsity, and I was like, yes, I love this. So, I definitely, and people say, I've actually had a teacher actually asked me last week, like, how do you, he's obviously coaching his daughter's team, and he says, I don't know how you can handle coaching women. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, it's just so much different than boys. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're telling me. Like it's a complete different thing. And I really enjoyed it. And then I actually how I got here at Springfield College was I was doing my internship because I was finishing my degree at AIC,
Mm-hmm.
and I got introduced to Coach Graves, and she was like, "Okay, you're hired," and I'm like, "Okay, great." Like, she's like, like I was doing my internship, and she's like, "Well, do you want to come for your master's?" And I was like, "Yes, like absolutely, the birthplace of basketball. Why
Yeah,
not? Like, it's the best
exactly.
place." So I was like, "I love basketball. Why not?"
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I got the job, and now I'm here, and honestly, I'm loving it. It's a different, obviously, I've coached at different levels. This level being at the collegiate level, um, it's different, and I'm thinking back from like when I played at D1 and D2 as well. D3, it's a completely different type of student athlete, and I'm really enjoying being at the D3 level. Um, just it's not obviously so much of just coaching. I have a lot of responsibilities, but here with like working out with these, because I actually also deal with the post players. I coach them. Um, just seeing them grow, like it's just, I actually have Lindsay, which is one of our juniors right now. She just seeing her improve over time brings me so much joy, and she wants
Mm-hmm.
to be there. She puts in so much time and effort, and she's studying. She wants to be a physician assistant. That's
Ooh.
very, very hard.
Mm-hmm.
4.0, like it's very, very intense. And just seeing that she puts in the effort, the extra time, the extra shooting, the extra sessions, like she wants to be here. Like I love that about the
Mm-hmm.
D3 student athlete mindset. They're not paid here on scholarships. Um, they're not forced to do anything. They ask for it. And honestly, it brings so much joy to me, honestly, being here at the D3 level, especially at the birthplace of basketball, which is awesome.
Yeah, that must be lit. So when you
Yeah,
hear the word basketball coach, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
probably mentor.
Mm, I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a mentor. Angie, who's another post player here, she's actually an All American. She talks to me all the time. She's asked me for advice. And it's not just about basketball. We talk about school. Um, she asks about my experiences, and we just talk about like those other things besides basketball, because obviously it's not always about basketball, right? Not everybody gets lucky enough to play at the next level. Angie does. She can play at the next level, but I don't think it's something that she really, really wants to do. But just like hearing, like asking just like advice about something, like it's just so fulfilling to me, because I don't, it's not just I'm hitting them, obviously, like impacting them on the basketball court, but just knowing that I'm helping somebody out outside and like making them a better person. So it's just different.
Okay. And I love that because we need that in this world today and not just coaches that care about your talent.
Mhm.
But how has being playing basketball in general, going overseas playing basketball help, or if it has helped you become a better coach?
It's definitely helped me in the sense of in the basketball sense. I feel like it's helped me because it's a different type of style of basketball. So I feel like I have more insight on that. I
Okay.
have like maybe a little bit more strategy than different things, or just like a different mindset, obviously, as well. Um, so I think that helps me. And honestly, like I'm more of a person that likes to run, just
Okay.
because that it's quick overseas. Like it's a fast paced game, but it's also very fundamental, which
Hmm.
I think here in the States now, I think, and it starts from, the AAU level. A lot of kids now that I see
Don't
lack
know it.
fundamentals.
Hmm.
They don't have fundamentals anymore. So I don't know what's going on with with the
Well,
AAU coaches or what's going on, but and I've even seen it honestly in high school. Like
hmm.
some of these, and they're playing varsity, they can't even dribble the ball. Like they have no shooting form. It's all about
No
for me, it's the
footwork.
footwork. The
No
footwork is
footwork.
is key, and there's
Hmm.
none. So it's like, and honestly, you see it a little bit here, even at the D3 level sometimes, like a basic bounce pass or,
Mm,
pivot, left-handed layup. Some people can't even make left-handed layups. And I'm like, how are we not teaching this? And like just like a basic defense of a 2-3, people have no idea of it. So, like just it's helping me see, so many different things and how even drills, I've even gotten drills from overseas that I've
mm.
experienced or that I've done that I've incorporated that over here. And it's a different thing. And they're like, wow, I've never done anything like that. And I'm like, that's one of the things that I've got, like I think that's definitely helped me of like bringing things back from what I experienced and seen overseas to now. I feel like I have a little bit more of an advantage over other people just because I got to see those things. And obviously I'm definitely opening to sharing like all the different drills or even skills work, like people have asked me to do that. But as far apart from the basketball sense, also to as a person playing overseas, it has just opened my eyes to like the
Mm.
different cultures, the different types of people that I've encountered. you know um just the customs and beliefs that people have, like you have to be open-minded and stuff like that. Like I think it's just made me a better person. I feel like it made me open to other people's ideas as well, because not everybody has the same idea, nor is it the right way. So I've gone so much playing overseas. It's opened my mind. I'm very thankful that I got the opportunity, honestly.
How has, no, not how has, but I read that you want to be a aspiring director of basketball operations. Is
Mm-hmm.
it to build the program you want? What it about being a director of basketball operations draws you in and and this is what you want to do?
Okay. Um, so right now is my role as here on the coaching staff. I deal a lot with administration apart from
Mm,
coaching. And I really enjoy that. Like I'm in charge of scheduling, recruiting. I also talk with other Division 3 institutions to find games.
mm,
Um, like I do a lot of day-to-day operations. I do our team's academic schedule, like to
okay.
make sure everything is taken care of. Um, and I really enjoy that. Like I really enjoy that apart from coaching. Um, I feel like I'm very good at it. I'm very detail oriented. So that I feel like is my calling. I want
Okay.
to be in charge and like kind of take off the stress because I know now being a coach, now I know like how much stress coaches go through and all the stuff that they encounter. Um, it's just something that I think that I could be a help in. I'm also a people's person. I can talk to anybody, so I feel like if I need to figure out a problem, I can get it done. You know, fast and effectively if anything were to arise. So
That's what's up. Well, strive to be the great you, and I wish all your dreams come true because that is dope. Just to because you
thank
want to
you.
do it and you're not being forced to do something. So I
No,
think that's what makes it so much better because it's something you love to do. So when you love something,
it
I feel
is.
like it's not a job. It's who I am.
Yeah. Not only that, without operations, honestly, the team doesn't run. Besides like the coaching aspect of it,
Right.
and the players, without a director of basketball operations, they do a lot more than people think. And they have to deal with a lot of stuff. And it's not just scheduling, it's not just administration, it's also, dealing with the student development part of it as well, which I really want to give back to athletes. I feel like, I mean, I
Mm,
was in that position and, I want the student athletes to have the best experience that they can, and I'm willing to help in which way. I feel like at the D1 and maybe a little bit at the D2 level, people just, coaches, I feel like it's more of just basketball or whatever sport they play. It's not so much on the development of the student athlete as a whole. And I know Division 1 is more of a job now, especially with
mm-hmm.
the NIL deals and all that stuff. It's more of a job, and it's like, but they need to experience that student athlete experience. It's not just about sports. Not everybody's going to be able to go beyond the college
Yes.
level.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to develop the person as a whole and like help them get to the next level in their career, whatever field that is. And I feel like that part of that student development, helping them academically. Just because in my experience playing collegiately, I struggled academically,
Mm,
and I didn't have any help until I got to AIC, and whew, and do I thank them for that? Because there probably would have been a time I would be ineligible, and I'm like, well, why? And me being young, I just wanted to focus on basketball, and nobody really like was on me about like, no, you need to do your homework, you need to do,
right.
get these good grades, because you want to do something after. So it's just like that's my whole thing. It's not just about coaching. um Director of basketball operations, you do a lot more than just it's just not just about the team.
I
And
love that.
that's, yeah, and honestly, it's I like to think of it, it's like the dirty work, but because nobody really likes to do all the busy work, right? Nobody likes to do
The
that.
TD stuff, yeah, right?
Yeah,
Signing things, looking up
yeah.
things, making phone
Nobody
calls.
Exactly. Nobody likes doing that. Me, for some reason, I enjoy doing that. I don't know why. I get satisfaction out of it. And I honestly feel like, even though I might not be coaching, but I would love to have a coaching position and the Dobo.
No.
Um, that would be ideal. But if I didn't, being a Dobo, I still help out the team in some way, in some way.
I mean, well, recruiting, you got the eyes open for the next, best thing for your
Yeah.
squad. So you're definitely helping. But with that being said, if you had 24 hours to either talk, share memories, play against whoever in this moment, who would it be?
Well, honestly, I've played against actually Stewie already. I've played against DT already. I guess Sue Bird. I guess Sue Bird. Honestly, no. In all honesty, I'd probably honestly would like to go against Tina Thompson.
Mm, wow.
Just I would love to bang with her just to see if
Yes.
we can like, because
If
she
you can
was,
hang in
man,
the trenches.
yes, like one of the best post players of her time, or even now, I would say. Like, she was, woo, she was so aggressive down that post, but she just looked
And her
like
footwork was even better.
she was awesome. I just remember watching her play, and I was like, oh my Lord. And obviously, she's known for her red lipstick. And she looked like, you don't want to mess with her. But I just remember her, just watching her, and I think, yeah, I definitely would love to go against Tina Thompson, just see if I'm even able to.
Right, that part, that
Yeah.
is so fire. And I'm gonna add somebody else to that. Just because you are coaching and you want to be, director of basketball operations, is there anybody on the coach's level that you would want to pick their brain, talk to, ask advice to in the coaching realm? And it could be anybody, past, present.
I actually have two. So past would be Coach Stringer.
Mm,
Yeah, Coach
yes,
Stringer.
hell yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the present, honestly, Don Staley.
Who's the man? I don't know what her standard is. She won't give it
Right,
to us, but her
right.
standard is amazing.
And another person that comes to mind, which I actually met at the Basketball Hall of Fame, is Becky Hammon.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I say Becky Hammon is in the sense of I love her fight for like for getting into coaching men. I
Okay.
just want to hear the mentality of like, because if you really think about it, and because I read about this, like women do not apply for men's jobs because they feel like they don't, or they're not going to get it, right?
Hmm.
But I'm really curious to know of how many women actually do apply for the men's jobs. Because I feel like if more women were going to apply,
Apply.
maybe we could have more chances, But women, we tend to like, okay, we're not going to get it, so why apply?
Right.
So I would just love to pick her brain and like just hear her experience as far as that. I mean, she coached a G League to a championship game. Like they won the G League. Like
She she was
I
next
would
to
love to
Pop
hear that.
and
Yes.
that
Honestly.
alone would be like so. I would be so
Yeah.
intrigued by that conversation just because his greatness is, so that's what's up. Well,
Yeah,
we got to
those
make
three.
these things
Yeah. Oh yeah.
happen.
I'm hoping maybe when I'm actually going to the Final Four next week, so maybe I'll be able to stop Coach Staley or I maybe you never know. You never know who's going to be there. Maybe Coach Hammond. Who knows?
You never know who's going to be anywhere.
You never know. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
How was it to watch? Because I seen on your story that you were at March Madness. That experience is absolutely amazing. I went to my first one 3 years ago, and it's electric.
Yes.
But how was it? I mean, I've seen Paige plenty of times, but not Paige, but how was it to watch DeAsia Fair go against UConn?
It was honestly it was great because she knew she had to take over.
Mm,
Um, she knew that the team was counting on her. I think she felt it like the confidence of her teammates, of her coaching staff, because you could tell her coach was like, "You do your thing. This is your team. You do your thing." But just she had so much determination that
mm,
I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna play my game. I'm gonna get my team to the next level. Obviously, she didn't do that, but she didn't back down.
mm.
And let me tell you, though, some of those calls were a little iffy. It's not that I'm going to blame the refs.
Of course not.
Yeah, but they had it tough. And then especially with I forgot what number five's name was, but she had two fouls early in the first quarter.
Hmm.
It's one of their top scorers. So, but man, her just seeing her play, taking some of those shots with I'm like, how are you making that?
That's what I
Like
wanted
the
to ask because
oh my
seeing it on
gosh,
TV is one thing, but
but
seeing
being
it,
there,
yeah, it was
it's
another.
completely different. You're dang, like that was a tough shot, but wow, it was just like, and don't get me wrong, UConn's defense was unbelievable. It was
Hmm.
very very good, um, but just seeing her just like take these amazing shots with a person right in her face, I'm like, how are you doing this? Like step back three, I'm like, wow. But it was obviously a great game. It was actually my first time at UConn, so
Wow.
yeah, it was my first time. The atmosphere was awesome. I was right next to the student section. Wow, they're just intense. But honestly, what I really enjoyed was actually seeing all the banners of the Final Fours,
Mm.
um, all the great names, Suber, Diana Taurasi, Tina Charles, Rebecca
She's
Lobo, seeing all those names on there and just the history. I was like, this is an amazing feeling. Not obviously I'm watching March Madness, but just being in the pavilion, like where all these greats were and played for, like it was just like it brought chills. Honestly, it brought chills, and it was such a great experience. Now I'm gonna try to go to more UConn games, but yeah, it
when
was
you're
such
a
a great
real
experience.
basketball fan, you appreciate those types of
Yeah,
moments because
well,
it's
it was
definitely different.
it's completely different. Obviously, like, it's better when you're at your home and you see it on TV, but when you're in that moment, it's like you're part of it. Like you're getting up, you're standing up, you're cheering, you're like I was yelling a little bit. Like I was like, okay.
You get out of character a little bit. Like I had
Oh
to.
yeah.
I went when NC State took UConn to overtime. I was at that March
Oh,
Madness, so
okay.
it was it was just different.
Right.
I've been
It
to
is.
plenty of UConn games, but when it's March Madness time and a team is giving them the business, and it's like we're in OT. That was
Mhm.
like the year before Paige got hurt, and she took over that overtime. So it's
Yeah.
just like, and
Well,
then
even last night
yeah,
she
she
took
did.
over.
She did.
Like it's like it was a quiet 32. Like it
Quiet.
was a quiet 32, but seeing her, like I've seen her play obviously on TV, but seeing her like right there in action, respect. Like she is so I feel like she doesn't get enough credit for what she does, but
Not these past years. No, she doesn't.
no, she really hasn't. But she's a phenomenal player. She kept her cool, very confident. like she knew she had to take over. She had to the last couple of minutes when Syracuse caught up, like she knew it. She needed the ball in her hands, but
Hmm.
she was just so confident, so calm. Like no, she was not stressed. She was not in a hurry. But just seeing that, like just seeing these basketball players, at this level, it's like, oh man, like I miss it. Honestly, I miss it.
I was gonna
And
ask
I'm
you that.
like,
Does it bring you back a little bit? Does it like?
it does. It does. And honestly, like I had to retire, it wasn't on my own, you know, I didn't want to do it. I had an injury. So I didn't go out on my own terms. Um, but now looking like I have the itch. I still have the itch.
Mm.
I think like, just one more year. Like what is one more year gonna do?
Wait till you
But
see Fuwali play. I can't. When you go to the Final Four, and I'm speaking into existence because I know South Carolina's going to be there.
yep,
Please let me know how it is to see Fuwali just ball like that because
she is awesome.
so
The
I just
talent now,
the freshman this year.
the
Oh my,
freshman.
that's what is like. Yes, Caitlin Clark had an historic, wonderful
Mhm.
year, but these freshmen, our basketball is in like the future is bright.
It really is. Honestly, I thought I there was like a little point where there was like a little dullness going around with like women's basketball a little bit. Um, but now watch out because these freshmen, they're not messing around. Like I even
Mm-mm.
saw the I actually had posted it was last game before Syracuse. The goaltending.
The first
They
time it was ever called.
goaltending in women's basketball, we're there now. I'm like, that is crazy.
It was
Like,
on Paige Beckers.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was mind blowing. And now, like obviously, like I said, the game has evolved so much. Now women are dunking, you know,
I was just about
goaltend.
to say that. I need to see Ashlyn dunk and again for South Carolina, but I need to see it in this type of atmosphere, March
Yeah,
Madness atmosphere, because it's gonna go
crazy.
crazy. Like I don't want you to like. Yes, I would love a posterized, but I know you can't. Like it's, I would love that, but just to get it in this atmosphere, being
I agree.
undefeated, I want that. I really want that
Yeah.
because it's just March Madness has been amazing.
It's
This
been it's been so good. And then obviously I love seeing women's sports, rising, with all the statistics and everything and like the high numbers and people with I was actually watching basketball at the casino here at MGM and I
mm,
got really mad because I'm right there like watching all these TVs and they put the women's basketball game, the little TV.
I'm the smallest one.
Yeah, and I'm like, who cares about these other games? Like,
The men
it's
has
all
been
about women's
boring.
yeah. And there was like some men's games going, and I'm like, why don't we put the women's game up? Like, and I know there were some of the men like that were watching the game there, but I'm like, why? We're still there. We're still
We're still
there.
there. We're still
We're
there.
still there. But
We
we're
are.
growing.
We're
But
growing.
we're growing. We're
But
growing.
their
And
reasoning is not logic. Oh, because they don't dunk. But
nope,
they're dunking now. So what's the next
exactly.
reason? So I just feel as though like we're always gonna be there because they don't want to give us that. Even with
Right.
Kenny Smith, oh, Sabrina is gonna do this and do that. And as soon as she lost, he doubled back on what he said. And she should have picked the WNBA. Why? She
Why?
literally just went toe to toe with Curry.
Yeah,
In a men's basketball, shooting from the men's logo, why does it have to be, oh, she should have shot with this?
exactly.
Why? She was in it the entire time. So
Exactly.
well, now all she got to do is come back because you know it's coming back because that's the only thing that made All Star fun.
Hmm.
Um, and who knows? I would love to see Drew Lloyd over there. So, who knows?
Yeah.
But what are your What are your top five basketball movies?
Oh, uh, so number one, Love and Basketball. Number one,
Everyone's favorite.
Coach Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hoosiers is not my third one, but that's the one that's coming to me right now. I can't think of the other one with the coach who used to be a girls high school coach, and he coaches a men's college team. I can't think of the name. Glory Road. Glory
Glory
Road.
Road. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So okay, Hoosiers, Glory Road, Coach Carter.
Loving basketball.
Um,
One more.
this is kind of a funny one. Rebound.
Oh wow. No one has that's a, yeah, no one has mentioned that one. So
That's actually a funny one.
I'm gonna have to go back. I haven't seen that in some time. So I'm definitely going to have to go back and watch that one. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. It's been a while since I watched Rebound. So thank you.
Like I said, I'm out dating myself.
I mean, I'm up there with you. I ain't that, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But for you, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, honestly, my goal and my dream for my next career path is to work for a WNBA organization.
Ooh, I know where to send the links to when I see them.
Yes, I would love to work either as a person in the front office as operations, or a person of personnel development, like
Mm.
dealing with personnel and everything. So that's honestly my dream, my goal, and my dream job to work for a WNBA organization. So we'll
Oh,
see
when
we'll
I
see where
see
it
them,
takes me.
when I see my little, my emails that come in from I forgot the app it's called, but I would definitely send them your way because
Yeah.
I just wish you all the best of luck in those goals you have. I definitely hope to see you at a WNBA team. I'm like,
Yep.
maybe a little, I'm still loud and crazy, so you're still gonna get that same
It's fine.
Ciara right at, while you're working. They're gonna be like, who is that girl? I may be on the media bench too, because I don't know. When I'm there, I get a little wild. I have to be like, Sarah, you're at work. You can't
It's okay.
cheer. I'm like, I need a cheer on that move because that was insane. But yes, I would love to see you there
Got
one day. And if you could give out some advice to anyone wanting to be either a player or a coach, what is something you will say?
Honestly, if it's something that you're passionate about, go for it. Just from experience, I've been told that I couldn't play professionally because I was too short. Don't pay attention to them. Do what your goal is, what your dream is. Follow your dreams, and honestly, ask for help. I feel like people don't really ask too much for
Mm.
help or take advantage of that. But there's a lot of people that are in your support system that have knowledge that they want to share with others. I'm learning that a lot now, being here with Coach Graves and in Springfield College, that a lot of people want to help. So if you just ask for it, there's people that want to help you out.
That's some dope advice. I may need to follow that because sometimes asking for help is the hardest thing
It
you
is.
could ever do. So thank you
Yep.
for that. Thank you for your time. Coming to chop it up and share your basketball journey with me. Like I said, good luck on everything in the future.
Thank you. And thanks for inviting me on here. I really appreciate that.
Of course.